G'day everyone, it's Warren here from NQ Explorers. Today I'm on a solo trip. Colin's not with me, and I'm in the site of a Depression era shantytown that of course started in the late 20s and lingered on into the 50s before the council bulldozed it and evicted all these squatters. So a lot of history in this site actually, a lot of activity, lots of great stories came from this little community where children grew up and elderly people spend a large part of their life. We've made some good finds in here before. Not so much the money coin side of things, because they were in here for a reason. They didn't have a lot of money, but often they did have jobs and they were working, and there are other relics to be found, personal items. There was about 30 to 50 shacks, shanties up through the bush here. It's fairly overgrown in places with long grass, but I have to tread lightly for the snakes, but it changes every year, so I don't let that discourage me, because where this grass is now maybe wasn't where it was last year, and there's a couple of bald patches I'll be able to detect. And then we'll get up into the bush proper, so let's get into it. Well, there's plenty of iron in the site, as you can imagine. Probably 30 years of habitation, dropping things, mostly ferrous, but I've got an 81 there. It's very shallow. Could be an old bottle top, but I just pulled the grass back, as you can see. We'll just see what's in this little scrape here. Didn't check his iron. Must have moved it. What is it? As I predicted, it's an old 1930s or 40s bottle top. There'll be plenty of those in here, but we're going to have to dig them all. There was a little bit of tone roll, so it wasn't a totally clean signal. Well, it's nice and moist in here this morning. The soil is lovely and damp because there was a big thunderstorm rolled through last night when I got here, and it's going to be very humid today, high 30s, and afternoon thunderstorms. So I think the day will get more exciting as we go along. This show today's setup, I've got the Garrett AT Max. I'm not using the Wi-Fi headphones today. I've got a Nell Sharpshooter Double D search coil. I'm in custom mode, and I've got 35 points of iron, and I've also notched out the 40 to 45. There's a lot of iron targets in here, but I don't want to drop out any gold targets in the low 50s, high 40s, so that's how we're running today. Let's get into it. Of course, the place is just littered with artifact scatters and old brick. You can see glass there. We've got crockery and iron everywhere. A lot of shallow targets, but I'm looking for the deeper, undisturbed targets in the high tones, you know, 50 and upwards, that kind of thing. But there's certainly plenty of evidence of the old shantytown still remaining. Well, here's my first real relic of any description. It's a clock cog. It was a 56, 57 in amongst all the iron. It's a nice, short, sharp, clean signal. So you can see there's the old steel axle would have been there, long gone, and the brass clock mechanism. Nice. Well, the last time you saw me in this site was around 12 months ago. I was in here with Colleen. I did a little series of videos, and just over there I dug up a double-decker bus. I'm going to work further up the hill behind me and get into an area I haven't detected before, but just near my double-decker bus site. Found a nice little relic. It's the back of a pocket watch. I don't think it's silver. I think it's looks stainless, but we'll clean it up. Oh, it's definitely stainless, and see if we can get a maker's name or a mark off that. A few mosquitoes in here this morning too after that storm. The other thing I'm on the lookout for too is red belly blacks, because there's lots of them in here, and it's early summer, so they'll be around and they'll be active. So we'll just tread lightly in the long grass. Anyway, that's my latest find. There you go, pocket watch back. I might go live here. It's a very clean 80. I'll just show you that now. There's a little bit of tone roll. Could very well be a bottle top. Won't let that discourage me though. If I walk past these kind of signals all day, I won't find anything. So we'll clean the bottle tops out of the place. That's policy. That's purpose. Well, that's good. It's still on the ground, so it's not shallow surface deposit. Although there's no modern rubbish in here. It's all, you know, 1920s to 1950s artefact kind of thing. Is that my target? It's an old jar lid, which is a, it's an old screw top, could be definitely 1950s, I'd say. Okay, so I'm working up slope here behind us, further into the settlement, into the bush. You can see there's a couple of clumps of lantana. We'll just work around those and then poke the coil into the lantana and see if there's any relics in there. Well, you can see here quite substantial remains of an old shack, bricks, probably an old fireplace, remnants of a small chimney or something like that. Ceramics all over the place, a lot of this lantana, which scratches you up pretty bad, but I'll push up through that way, through the lantana. This is the kind of stuff I'm looking for scattered through this bushland up the slope. Here's another find that's an example of the personal effects in here. It's a top of a safety razor with a root growing through it. That was a 7980, probably a Schicker Gillette. I wouldn't dare guess how old it is, but safety razor, 40s or 50s maybe, or earlier. This one's a nice size 75, 76, pretty consistent. Down thereabouts. So we'll just go live and see what happens. It may not be a bottle top, this one. They tend to be ringing up higher, that alloy. I moved it, I hope not. If I moved it, it's yeah, I have moved it. That's not good. Could be just something light. Just in there. If it's something old, it's just under the grass layer there. What do we got? Oh, we have a coin. Now I didn't expect that at all because it was so shallow. Looks to be a old halfpenny. You can see it there. That was just basically a sunbaker with grass on top. That'll be a halfpenny. Let's give it a clean. We'll get him up close and get a date. So I'll just give it a bush clean now and we'll have another look. Well, this humble little coin tells an interesting story. It's a 48 kangaroo halfpenny, King George VI. So this dates from the very end of the time that this little shantytown was here. Clearly not a depression coin, but this shows you that people were lingering in this area late 40s, early 50s, but that was by 52, 53, it was all gone. So interesting find in an area that's quite thickly vegetated with lantana and grass, but I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes concentrating in this spot. It's probably been about half an hour since my last decent find. I went through a big bulb patch, if you like, but we'll stay here for a while and see what we pick. There's an interesting remnant of the old settlement. It's an old fence post. You can see where it's been cut there for the rail. The post has been rebaited. Been here a long time. It's a little bit wonky now, but yeah, probably someone's front fence. Well, there's another very shallow find, not far from that halfpenny I just got. It's an old padlock. The iron hasp is just about gone. See if we can get a brand name off it. It's definitely an old one. I can't see anything on it, but oh no, it's just definitely something on this side, isn't there? So look at this. See if we can reveal what it's going to be. Oh, it's coming to light. What's that say? Okay, look, I'll give it a proper clean and we'll get it up close. But there it is. I can't get it clean enough to read it. It's got some, definitely got a circular logo with a word starting with S. There's a number underneath, might be the model number or something. We'll get it home, clean it all up, and we'll take some still shots and get some information on maybe the age of this old padlock. Well, that's warming up now. I've just moved into the shade for a bit of a break. Doing alright though, got a coin. Didn't expect that. Some nice little finds like the pocket watch back. I've just dug some latch parts, I didn't show you that. And there's just an absolute ton of iron. There's a bit of an old bed frame just here where I'm resting, so we'll get back into it in a minute when I've had a little break. Well, this looks interesting in here, in the dappled sunlight. I can see that there's some old brick in here and bits of concrete structures. Probably the contrast isn't real good with this camera. But up in here, there's lots of bricks laying around in the forest. Old bits of corrugated iron, roofing or walls. Lantana. I saw in there what I thought might have been an old wash tub, but I couldn't get to it. We'll keep detecting up into this direction. There's another big clearing up over there, so we'll head that way. How's this for a massive old ornate hinge? She's suffered a bit of corrosion over the years, but look at the size of that thing. Well, I've come through that little grove I just showed you into this clearing. A lot of country down in here, bracken, fern and grass, but tons and tons of bricks and ceramics all through the place. Looks like what may have been an old well here out the back of one of the old shanty shacks. It's been filled in. I don't think it's a rubbish pit, it looks like a well. So they would have been drawing the groundwater. Oh, actually, just over here, you can see it. This is the remains of a corrugated iron water tank. So it could have been a well. Water supply for this particular family. Well, this one's probably just another bottle top, but what if it's not? We'll go live. I'll just pull the leaf litter back. We've got it jumps to 80, 75 to 80. A little bit of tone roll on the max. Not a clean signal at all. It's probably an alloy bottle top. It won't be far down. I'd like to be wrong, but let's see. I'm actually getting some lead nuggets and that kind of thing too, as you'd expect in these older, instead of just picking it up there. Yeah, lead nuggets and bits of solder and kind of stuff that they would have been using typically back in these days. Like lead kind of went out of fashion when everyone realised it's not real good for you. But back in these days, they used it for everything. Okay, what do we got? Maybe a little button or something? Or a grommet? Maybe a grommet, I think. Yeah, it's just a little round grommet. Hence the high signal, but not quite as tidy as I would have liked, and that's because it's not a solid object. It's got a hole in the centre. But that's what that target was. Okay, it's a nice clean signal. There, 81, 83. Nice and clean down low. We'll iron check it. No, it's not iron. A little bit large though, I think. Never mind, we'll see what we come up with. What I'll first do is see if we can pick it up with a pinpointer. Yeah. See, it's quite large and shallow. So, could be a sardine tin or something. I don't think it's as big as a sardine tin, but it'll be similar to that. Let's have a look. It's nice and blow me here. Come into the shade, get out of the sun for a while. Let's see what we got. Oh, moved already. Well, it's not a sardine tin, I didn't see one coming out. Okay, what is it? Some sort of fitting? Looks like a brass hose fitting or something like that. Or a bit of pipe, water pipe maybe. Looks like another much larger well in here. Could be a little spring actually. You can see there's reeds or rushes growing there, so it's quite moist in there. There's some lovely little bracken fern growing down there, but it's been excavated by man. Probably an old well. I don't think it's a rubbish pit. There's no rubbish laying around, so I'd say that was water supply. Of course, obviously there's no town water here or power. Back in the 20s and 30s, or for the entire life of the settlement, because it was illegal in effect on government land. Here's an old enamel pot or something. What is it? Saucepan. Probably a saucepan. No handle. Oh yeah, there's been a handle there. It's an old enamel saucepan. And I've just stirred up a big heap of those very angry ants. Better put that back. A little bit of environmental, because the eggs were in there. Geez, they're getting a bit angry. They're coming towards me too. I better get out of here. Well, we're not doing too bad in here today. I've been here probably 4 hours since you saw me start. We've got one coin, a few other artefacts, nothing sensational. But I just think the kind of history you dig out of these sites is what makes it special to come to these places. You don't necessarily make great finds or you know, great numbers of finds, but when you think about the people that lived here way back almost 100 years ago, they first moved into this area, and it wasn't by choice. They were victims of that Great Depression, and everywhere around the world was the same. All the big cities in Australia had these shanty towns, or bag towns they often called them, where people just moved into the bush because they weren't landowners and they were evicted from their homes. And I guess back in those days there was no public housing as it is now. So they were kind of victims at the time. And the children all went to school, of course, and they grew up in these little communities that, like I said earlier on, had no power, they had no water, not town water anyway, they had tank water, and just lived by hurricane lamp. And so the history of the site would be around 25 to 30 years people were here, and some people were here for the whole time, some just towards the end, and some others in the beginning. They got jobs and they moved into proper housing into town or whatever. But by the early 50s the council wasn't having any of this, and really after World War II the wealth of modern Australia sort of really built, and people were much more affluent. They had cars, they were buying homes. It was the great Australian dream to buy a house, block of land, quarter acre, that kind of thing. There was no need for these sort of towns. No one needed to live in these conditions, is what I'm trying to say. So the council evicted them all and they bulldozed the site, and that was the end of it. Hence there's no modern rubbish in there. I haven't found anything like a ring pull or anything, you know, remotely like a decimal coin. I'm going to do another couple of hours before the storms start rolling in. It's around midday now. It's quite pleasant actually. There's a bit of a breeze, it's not too bad. Nothing like North Queensland. I can deal with it. So I'll do a couple of more hours. I'll report back shortly with my next target. Well, this one's another nice I-80 signal. I've just pulled the leaves back to make sure it wasn't just in the leaves. Gee, it's tight. It's just under the coil there. We'll have a crack at this one. But might be a bit of cut copper. I've dug a bit in this area. Okay, it's back up in this area of the hole. This will be back there. Could be a piece of that cut copper. There are some lead nuggets, but that's a bit high for a lead nugget unless it's a big size job. Oh no, it's just another, what is it? Scrap alloy. Oh, it's oh no, what is that? No, that's not it. Sorry. That looks like I thought it was metal. Looks like oyster shell actually. I thought it was that like white alloy. Let's have a look here. Now getting some glass. Oh, I've moved the target. You can see fragments of old bottle, and that's a decorative old bottle. It's all it's got some sort of floral pattern on it. Target's up in the side here. Could be the bottle top off that very bottle. That's that stuff that is oyster shell. They're doing alright eating oysters, eh? In here? Oh, I think the target's still on the ground. I thought I moved it. What's this? Oh look, it's another padlock. Padlock 2 for the day. The steel hasp is definitely rotted well away on that one. And it looks like there's been a maker's plate there, but it's fallen off, come adrift long ago. I don't know, looks like some sort of moulding where there's been a plate. But that's, yeah, another old padlock. Gee, they were paranoid about locking up their gear. Yeah, not too bad, 77, could be a bottle top though. Have a crack at that one, eh? There's a bottle top lying just there. That's on the surface though. So we'll see what's, hopefully this is a deep cover target because I don't want any surface stuff here. In there, and those 2 leaves there. Might be too far from the surface, but yeah, this bit of old bit of iron just laying here. Looks like part of an axle. Let's have a look. Up to the topsoil here. And get into that grey silty material. Oh well. Yeah, another bottle top. A lot of cordial got drunk. I'm seeing a lot of coal in here too. Obviously used it for heating, cooking, that kind of thing. Geez, good quality stuff that. Well, I've been digging these 82s all day and every single one's been a alloy bottle top. I don't think this one is. It's in this clump of clay I just dug out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a silver sixpence. Just have to clean him up. He's really caked. But let's have a look. I can't really see it. I'll have to give it a bush clean and we'll find out what it is. Right, well there it is. It's not a silver sixpence. It's an 82, 83 signal, so it's alloy, I'd say. It doesn't feel heavy enough to be silver. I have a feeling it may be a little token of some description, like a shop token, like a bread or milk token or something. I'm not sure. I can't see any details on it. I'll give it a proper clean when I get to some water, because I've run out of water. All the water I drank. So we'll get some still pics and try to determine what that actually is. Well, I might wrap it up there. I hope you all enjoyed that little visit into a 1920s, 1930s time capsule. No sensational finds, but it was just a sense of history in this place and feeling what it was like to be in this area, those people living under these conditions and digging up humble things like razors and, you know, their cordial bottle tops and that kind of thing. It's all great fun. I really enjoyed the day out in here. It's been, it's a beautiful bit of bushland actually. It's a really pleasant place to walk around. So thanks for watching everybody.